I mean, we called it pretty early on. I think that Toff was going to win this series because she was the one that they sort of had earmarked for success.
It was the same with Scarlett last year. I remember like 2 days
and
in.
Vicky Pattinson.
The good thing about I'm a Celebrity is that nice people 9 times out of 10 will make the final and 9 times out of 10 will win.
As a whole, I've enjoyed this series. I said before that last year I didn't find it that intriguing because they all got on to an extent. It was an older camp this year. That's why I enjoyed it. I will now pass over to Gary so he can gush about Ian Lee for a bit.
He became the anti-hero for all of the people in the camp. The one that they can hate, and that's a role that he's very comfortable playing.
I don't think that's the case, really.
And I don't think he was comfortable. I think he was really uncomfortable.
No. At the beginning, I think he was. No, I know him. He was perfect in his comfort zone.
Yeah, no,
when he was being the bad prime, when he was being the angry prime minister and doing all that.
The first couple of days, he was sort of playing a role, wasn't he?
He was playing the character.
Mick, yeah. And I think what it was, Gary, for me, is that the first couple of days he did come in and was this larger-than-life personality, but then after he couldn't do that swimming trial, it sort of
absolutely came down.
And then obviously all the stuff with the strawberries happened, and I think every time he sort of became like the pariah in camp, and as people started to leave, and that group of sort of macho males were there, and were left, and were sort of plotting against him.
That story
not plotting against him, but sort of taken against him.
I'd be up for doing one, but you're obviously very keen, so...
My only problem, and I'll be honest with you, Ian, is that you've said, get me out of here twice. And what I don't want to do is we don't have no dinner.
No.
And so...
Okay, but I've also got 11 stars on one.
I get that, but you also said, get me out of here twice.
Yep.
And failed. Out of the 3 you've done, you failed basically...
No, I failed one of them.
No.
The other one was a challenge.
If you come back with nothing, mate, you know, I
know it works.
Everyone will be upset.
Yeah.
Well, look,
and that's
it's brave of you to say that you want to do it.
All right, you don't want me to do it. That's fine. I won't do it.
But people do overcome fears, you know.
Guys, you don't want me to do it.
Make sure we eat tonight.
Amir, I get it. You don't want me to do it. I'll withdraw my offer.
People thought at the beginning that I might not be able to do stuff, and I did, and I can.
Everyone was going to have a go. And you've never said those words, okay?
But does that mean I can do no more trials for the rest of the run then? Is that what you're saying? Because that feels a little bit unfair.
Well, Ian, the problem is you've gone out a couple of times and you've come back with nothing because you can't do it.
Yeah.
So that obviously causes me a slight issue.
Okay, well then I won't do any more trials on here, but it just seems a little bit...
Ian, you don't need to be all like that.
But that's what it's sounding like to me. I feel significantly more confident than I did the other day, so I was quite happy to kind of stand my ground a bit. But yeah, it did feel a bit humiliating having my list of failures, you know, kind of recited back to me. The offer is withdrawn and I won't submit for any more trials.
Go and do it, Ian.
Hold on, folks.
Nothing against you, Ian. It's just
I'm
allowed to say my piece like everyone else. Yep.
No offence
so don't
taken,
put it on to me as if...
Dennis, I'm not.
One second. Let me finish what I've got to say.
Dennis, it's gone. Let it go, dude.
But let me finish what I've got to say, and then you can say, don't cut people down, Ian. Let them say. I want to explain to you my thought process. Now, don't make faces like that.
Well, it sounds like you're telling me off.
Ian, let me explain what I've got to say, right? If everyone chooses for you to go tomorrow, right, I haven't got a problem. So don't put it on that you can't do no more trials, because that's only my thought process, and I'm allowed that thought process.
You are allowed that thought process.
But please don't throw that back at me.
I'm not
so I
throwing
can't do any
anything
more
back at you.
trials.
I'm throwing
Don't play a game with me. I don't like games.
I'm not playing any games with you, Dennis.
I'm going to call this meeting over.
I did identify with that because you may not know it to hear me talk, but I am not the most sort of alpha of males. So that's sort of... Being surrounded, but I would say I'm more like Ian Lee, that sort of sarcastic sort of, you know.
No, I don't believe what I'm hearing. I can't, I'm struggling to process this.
When you're around sort of like men like that, you do struggle. You do get that when you're around like sports people and whatever Jamie Lomas is.
Anton Deck said he had the biggest journey in there, but I would say it wasn't until, because I felt sorry for him a lot of the way through, as everybody did, but I think I preferred it more when he turned off his Ian Lee-ness towards the end and just embraced being there and enjoyed being there, and that was what made him more enjoyable for me to watch, was when he met up with his sister again and you saw the real person. I think he is somebody, probably to his own admission, who struggles to turn off the Ian Lee inside him.
Would you say this racks up as like one of the bigger series, or will you not remember this after it's finished? Or
I think it proved itself again, as we've said in the past, that it's really entertaining, doesn't outstay its welcome. I think some of the trials they do are getting a little bit stale and a little bit hackneyed, but I do enjoy it.
Some of the forums I went on said there was too many trials and not enough camp life.
Yeah, there wasn't enough.
I've got no comparison.
And I think that's why they focused on the Ian Lee, air quotes, bullying as much as they did, because there wasn't a lot of else to show in camp.
But I do think Toff was a genuinely lovely person, and I'm glad.
And I really liked Stanley Johnson as well. I thought he was someone who could have stayed to the end. I really liked Stanley.
Gary,
well, that was it.
Slightly hypocritical because you watched all of the series because a friend's on it. But as a show, did you enjoy it enough when Ian wasn't on the screen?
Yes, because I haven't.
Did you feel connected to all of them the same way normal viewers would outside of Ian Lee?
I did find Toff very likeable. I didn't know a thing about her before I came in, other than she was in Made in Chelsea. And she was delightful, and she was smiley, and she was clever. You sort of think, oh, I'm going to be quite airheaded. But she's not. She was very clever. She had many long conversations with Stanley that, about deep political and things. And she genuinely seemed excited to be there.
And I suppose Ant and Dec's jokes were amazing. And I think what makes them work on this is that they sort of break the fourth wall a lot of the time, don't they? And do
and the running
about how
gags.
rubbish that Ian Lee trial was, the one with the spaceship, just completely mocking how
there were times when their fourth wall breaking went a little bit, and I'm thinking, because they jokingly said that Ant or Dec had Jack Maynard in the sweepstake.
That was Anne, wasn't it?
That's a bit close to that. Like, that's just that's almost just
they can do it.
I like that. No, I love that.
I know, but that's quite close to the bone, really, isn't it? That's quite
good.
close.
They can do anything. They can do anything because they're Ant and Dec. And did you enjoy it enough to think, it's only on for 3 weeks?
I think I might. Again, I might think about who's going in, because I do think that's important.
I don't know every year, and I say every year that it's not relevant who goes in.
I think the mix. I'll tell you this. I don't think the names and who it is relevant. I think the mixture and the ages. That's where the characters, other than the level of fame, the personalities.
Because if Toff walked in here like last year, I wouldn't have known who she was, and now she was one of my favourite people for 3 weeks.
Bumper ratings as ever.